etc., it all corroborates, it all agrees with this Sumerian cosmogony. And now, what happened to the invader? According to the Enuma Elish, the Epic of Creation, the invader itself became a member of the solar system, a 12th member, because they counted the sun, the earth, its moon, and not 9 but 10 planets. So when I discussed with my first publisher the title, the suggested title for my book, the first book, The 12th Planet, I tried to explain to him that this is really the 10th planet, which is the 12th member of the solar system. And he said, Stichin, we'll call it the 12th planet. So it is known as the 12th planet, though it is in reality the 10th planet. And all the Sumerian tales do include the planet we call Pluto as part of the tale. So I wrote on my website a piece when the astronomers meeting in Europe decided to dethrone Pluto and said it's not really a planet, it's a planetoid, it's this. I wrote a piece on my website and said, let Pluto stay the way the Sumerians had it. So this is the planet that remains in orbit and has been renamed Nibiru. Now, on many Sumerian and afterwards Assyrian, Babylonian, and so on depictions, all the 12 members of the solar system are depicted, and you can see the sun, you can see the moon, you can see this Nibiru, whose symbol became the winged disk. You can see all the others with their symbol, and you can see the 7 dots, which is the symbol for Earth. Now, you may well say this is wrong, because we all know that Earth, in New Age parlance, is the 3rd rock from the sun, right? So there's Mercury, Venus, and Earth. And that is true. But if the Sumerian incredible knowledge was given them, was not acquired by them from their own observations without telescopes and all other modern equipment, if it was given them by somebody, let's assume for the moment, coming in from outside the solar system towards Earth, then they would say Pluto is the first. And then there's Neptune and Uranus. And then there's Saturn and Jupiter. And Mars would be the 6th planet. And Earth would be the 7th planet. So Earth is quite correctly depicted by the symbol of the 7 dots, the number 7. And this is something I would like you to keep in mind as we proceed with this presentation, because it is very significant towards an appreciation of the evidence from the past about the future. Now, the obvious question that anyone, including myself at the time that I started to research and investigate all that, would ask himself is, how could possibly the Sumerians know all that the sun is in the center, and that's how this solar system came into being, and there was an invader, and the invader has this great elliptical orbit, etc. And the answer again, it is written down on, that they are not called tablets, they are called cylinders, square cylinders in this case. And this one in particular, another one like it, can be seen by any one of you if you go to England, to Oxford, to the Ashmolean Museum. And this is called the Sumerian King List. And it says that about 430,000 years before the deluge, people called Anunnaki, in this text, called Anunnaki, came from their planet and visited Earth and brought civilization to Earth. In fact, it says, this and other records like it, say that civilization was brought down, and the term used in the Sumerian for the civilization is kingship. That kingship was brought down first time before the deluge and was brought down to earth from the heavens the second time after the deluge. And then there are tales, very detailed tales, telling us that at one time a group of 50 Anunnaki, led by a leader whom they call Enki, came from their planet, that same planet, the planet X or Nibiru, came to Earth, and they did not crash land here. Their spacecraft was not just passing by, and they said to each other, "Hey, look at that rock down there, let's take a look at it." They came for a reason, they came for a purpose, and the purpose was that they needed gold. They needed gold with which to protect the dwindling atmosphere on their own planet. And the tales, which are very detailed, then tell how Enki came and tried to obtain the gold, how his attempts to get it, to extract some gold from the waters of the Persian Gulf did not succeed, so they had to turn to actual mining. And then another leader was sent called Enlil, and etc., etc. So what happened? And there are many statues of Anunnaki, male, female, but this one of Enki is the only one where his fist, if you can discern it, is made of gold, which I believe indicates the purpose for which he came. Now, Enki stayed on Earth quite a long time, and at some point felt that he ought to tell his story of what happened on their planet that made him and his group and the other Anunnaki come to Earth, and what happened on Earth after they came and landed here. And there is an actual text known to any Sumerian or Assyriologist, as some call themselves, that they will say, yes, there is such a text that is an autobiography of Enki that starts by saying, when I approached the earth, I saw greenish marshes. We splash-landed in the waters. We waded ashore. I commanded so-and-so, and the name is given, to test water and see if there's potable water. I commanded so-and-so to build us some kind of shelter. I commanded so-and-so to see if there is edible food. And so on, line after line in those tablets. Unfortunately, the complete text of that autobiography of Enki has not been found, only fragments of it. I used about 800 different sources to reconstruct the story of Enki. because I felt at some point in my own writings that it is not enough to tell the story of what happened here through the prism of the Sumerians, or to some extent the Old Testament, the Hittite writings, etc. But it is also important, especially to know why they came, what happened on their planet before they came, through the eyes and through the speech of one of them. And I chose Enki because he did dictate an autobiography. And the tale that emerges from all those sources is that after they landed here and could not get the gold just by extracting it from the waters of the Persian Gulf. This is the Persian Gulf, and this is today's Iraq. Another leader, a half-brother of his called Enlil, came. He was a more a commander, and he was more a scientist. Another member of their family, they were all children of the ruler of Nibiru, called Anu. Another member, a female, who was a medical doctor, came and assisted also. And they set up a settlement, or actually 7 settlements on earth, at a place that they called in Sumerian Edin, from which the word Eden, the Garden of Eden, comes. And they chose a central point called Nippur. They nicknamed the navel of the earth, because all the other settlements that they established, each one with a certain purpose, including this one as the spaceport, and this laid out as a landing corridor. All of them were equidistant from Nippur. So Nippur was the central city, the site where Enlil had his headquarters, and some of the texts even describe what was at his headquarters. And there was a particular place there called the Duranki, with all kinds of humming equipment that controlled the space flights and gave information about orbits, etc. And Duranki literally means the bond heaven-earth, the thing that links heaven, their own planet in this great orbit, and their settlements on earth. So this is what they established. And as I said, at some point the idea of extracting gold from the waters didn't work. They had to go and do it the hard way. So they kept coming in groups of 50 until there were some 600 of them on Earth. And they used Mars as a way station on which 300 of them were stationed. The numbers are given in those texts. But most of those on Earth, those Anunnaki, were assigned to mining gold in East Africa. And there are several texts, and a particular one known as the Atrahasis epic, that describe a time or an event where those working in the mines mutinied. And they said, no more. This is not the kind of work that we can do. We are astronauts. We are supposed to man spacecraft, not to work deep in the earth. And there was a mutiny, and there was great consternation among the leadership what to do. And then the same Enki, who was a scientist, said, we don't have to abandon our efforts to obtain the gold on which our own survival on our planet depends, because